Grenade! Kill, 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 kill. Grenade! Red 90, red 90. Red 90, red 90. Welcome back to the Between the Headset podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Jalen Connor, the comedic voice of sports intelligence. And y'all, so welcome back. I can't wait. Y'all don't worry about the background, you know what I'm saying? Life is life. When life try to tear you down, you still stay up strong, and that's what the background doing. So we just gonna worry about what I'm saying, you know? Let's get straight into it. I'm happy to be back in front of this camera today, y'all. A lot of things in sports been going on this past week. Right after we recorded the other episode. Like I was saying, right before we recorded the last video, right after we recorded the last video, a lot of things in sports happened. College football, we had the games got out the way. NBA been turning up a little bit. NBA been very depressing this whole season, so I'm glad they finally turned it up a notch. Speaking of the NBA, a player that I feel like got snubbed last year and should definitely win it this year, Sga, the MVP is yours, brother. The MVP is yours. I've been trying to tell everybody, bro, you are the best thing since sliced bread. I ain't gonna lie. Sga is basketball. Sga is the definition of basketball. It got me paranoid now. He is the best thing since sliced bread, bro. Like, when it comes to the game of basketball, he just covers it on all facets. Plays defense, plays offense, brings the energy. A great teammate guy, you know what I'm saying? But you truly cannot stop this man. Like, when he said the other night he can get to the rim on anybody, that's true. Like, how is he a slasher? Is he a shot creator? Is he he gets crazy. Like, I just wanted to let everyone know, like, Sga is better than Luka Doncic. I've been saying this. Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander before you give me Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is not going to give me 100% I know that for a fact that Luka Doncic is not going to give me 100% every night, every possession, none of that. Shai will, and he'll give me a 30 ball efficiently. So why are you chucking up step back three? Oh, you want to keep chucking up step back threes, bro? Luka, I don't know. I don't like Luka. I don't like Luka. But back to Sga, bro. He is leading the Thunder on a 10-game win streak without Chetty Spaghetti. How are you doing it without Chetty Spaghetti? And then they getting wins over guys like the Celtics, the Knicks, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, the Magic. You feel me? The guy's averaging 31.6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He's doing it all. Like, that's every night, though. Like, when they say averaging, like, all right, some people you get like a 30-ball average, but it'll be somebody weak, and they'll be giving you like 45, 40 on some night. But then, well, averaging 30 ain't weak at all. But they give you 45 on some nights, and they give you like 20 on it. Yes, that's him for real. But he's really giving you 31 a night. Like, that's his magic number, 31. He's literally coming out every night and dropping 31 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, maybe 5 steals, but now he's starting to pull up from 3. Now he getting crazy with it. He been watching too much Steph Curry. Steph Curry done got a hold of Shai. Now he is just looking absolutely dominant. And the Celtics really need to, like, a lot of people still saying they think the Celtics the best team in the league, which is hard to not call them one when you look at that starting 5, bro. And even they bench is crazy, too. That's the thing about the Thunder, too, though. The Thunder bench is crazy as well. It might be even crazier because everybody on their bench is young, and they all play the same. Like, they got too many clones on the Thunder, bro. I don't know what they doing over there, but Celtics might need to look out. That's all I'm going to say. Because Chetty Spaghetti still ain't even back yet, baby. But speaking of great teams, let's go and head on over to the NCAA college football. And let me update myself, because last time I came here, I gave y'all my picks, and I think 1 or 2 of them might have fallen. Or did I go 4 for 4? Did I go 4 for 4? I don't know, because Georgia had a bye, so I might not have chose Georgia. But I had Texas over Clemson. Texas got it. I mean, my fault. I had Texas over Arizona State. Texas got it done. I had Oregon over Ohio State, and Ohio State gave Oregon the complete belt. Jeremiah Smith, what a day. what a day. That's all I can say. Like, he completely just tore my heart out from the first snap. Had my money on Oregon, a nice 25 for that 50% profit boost. 25 for about 80 or whatever if we would have got that dub. But he just completely ripped my heart out my chest the first possession. So, yeah, Oregon didn't get it done. But I had Penn State over Boise State. Penn State did what they were supposed to do. Boise can't just run the game up, run the ball all game, brother. And Notre Dame whooped Georgia. I don't know if I had Notre Dame or not, but in retrospect, I would have picked Notre Dame because Georgia, I don't really like their quarterback like that. But yeah, they got it done. So now we're looking at the semifinals, which is just the Final Four, and we got Texas #5 versus Ohio State #8. And who do I have in Texas and Ohio State? Texas, Ohio State. Give me Ohio State, bro. After beating Oregon as convincingly as they did and as powerful as they looked on both sides of the football, this is the Ohio State team that everyone thought we were going to see all year long, that we finally are getting to see when they're hitting on all cylinders. Give me Ohio State over Texas. Penn State and Notre Dame. I want to say Notre Dame, but I'm going to go Penn State. I'm going to go Penn State because I'm a Philadelphia Eagle, and that's the closest thing I got to the Eagles. So I'm going Penn State. And I kind of like Penn State because Boobie Johnson or whatever that Friday Night Lights movie was, where he was like, nah, he got with the black cleats. Every time I see Penn State and they black and white with they white and blue with the black cleats, I be thinking about Boobie. Bro, if you know the movie, you know the movie, bro. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Penn State. So then that leaves me with Ohio State, Penn State. Oh my God, Ohio State, Penn State championship would be nutty. That I might have just uncovered the script actually. I just did actually. I think we already seen that game earlier this year. I forgot who won, but Ohio State, Penn State championship. Can't ask for much more than that. And then I'll give y'all my picks if we actually get that game. I'll let y'all know who I think that's gonna win that next week. But yeah, I got Ohio State, Penn State. That being said, that leads us to you remember when segment of the day, and we stand on the topic of college football. Speaking of national championships, on this actual day that I am recording, the day of January 7th, 2019, though, Clemson and Alabama faced off in the championship, and this was a time of just sheer domination by both colleges. And depending on who you was a fan of was who you had in this game. Back then, I was a Clemson fan. I didn't like Alabama because they were just dominating every single year. And this was when Trevor Lawrence was at the helm of quarterback with players like Travis Etienne, Justin Ross. This whole offense, this whole season was just crazy. And Alabama, I got to check who they had, but I know their defense is always phenomenal. This might have been the Reuben Foster such defense. If it was, then these guys are crazy. But on this day in 2019, the Clemson Tigers faced off against the Alabama Crimson Tide in a national championship in which Clemson just gave them just totally, completely spanked them. Just completely just gave them the whole 5 fingers spanked, backhand, front hand, 44-16 in a college championship. And Alabama was 14. Yeah, they both was undefeated. And Alabama finished 14-1 and Clemson finished 15-0. So, how do you go undefeated and then just get that complete belt in the championship? Well, this is how it happens. You got Trevor Lawrence completing 20 of 32 pass attempts for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns. And 9 receivers? Oh, no. And of the 9 receivers he connected with, Justin Ross. Like I said, he had some guys to give the ball to. But that was our, you remember when? Segment of the day. Back to the NFL. I've been waiting to talk about this topic for a couple of days because after watching this game, it had me just thinking a little bit about where the NFL stands still like I am after every NFL weekend. So we had the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions facing off for the number 1 seed in the NFC Conference in a battle that didn't go as planned for the Minnesota Vikings, I'll put it that way, but didn't go as expected for the viewers. I know a lot of people probably expected a tight, close-knit, hard-fought football game for all 4 quarters, but probably still had Detroit winning. And I thought the same. Instead, we just got another showing of belt to butt in the NFL. The Detroit Lions just completely embarrassed the Minnesota Vikings and showed them that they wasn't on their level yet. And I'm not ready to agree with that take yet, actually, because as the Detroit Lions should feel that they are on top of the world, I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are necessarily frauds or necessarily aren't the team that we thought they were. I think they still are. I think the Detroit Lions just completely knew what the game plan was going to be for the Vikings and countered it. It seemed like that they had the right defensive call for every play, and when they didn't have the right defensive call, Sam Darnold just wasn't on the same page of his targets, and that comes from being uncomfortable the whole football game. The whole football game, the Detroit Lions sent pressure at him. Even when it was just a 4-man rush, they got home to him and sped up Sam Darnold, which is one thing we know that Darnold and the Vikings don't want to do because they have a lot of deep routes and long developing routes between, their amazing targets that can get downfield. T.J. Hockenson, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, of course. And even now, Jalen Naylor is becoming a, prominent target. So if you can't get downfield with him, you got to have some routes that are quick underneath. And they didn't really start doing that until later on in the game. They only hit like one deep shot. And once they got down to the red zone, everything shrank. And then they had to speed it up, which they aren't used to doing. And it just seemed like Detroit was just too physical for them. And in the NFL, once it's good on good or best on best, I always tell y'all physicality is what it come down to. And that Detroit Lions D-line was more physical. Their O-line was more physical. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 touchdowns on the day, which was insane. He's a dog. He's a dog, but I didn't realize he was really a dog until Montgomery was gone. I knew he could be a running back 1, but I didn't know he would be one of the top running back 1s. But I guess when you're behind the line of the Detroit Lions, you can give it to guys like Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, and they probably still have career years, this, that, and the third. But Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely the truth, though. Just one of their many targets that was also clicking on all cylinders, it seemed like, in the second half for the Detroit Lions and that victory over the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night. So, if you ask me, do I think the Minnesota Vikings are frauds? No. I believe that if you make any team do something other than they've been doing all year long that has been working, they will look uncomfortable and they won't have as much success as they're used to seeing. So, like I said, it takes a physical brand of football to make the Minnesota Vikings offense look the way it did on Sunday night. And the Detroit Lions played that brand of football. So, yeah. Some newer news, not more so team-wise, but player-wise, of course, which it always seems with these wide receivers nowadays. Another diva, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is out. He said, I'm out. He's had enough of Miami. He's out of there now. He's not seeming to like the current conditions of the football team in no manner. He completely did not bite his tongue in his interview. It seemed like he was about to, and he said, all right, fuck it. I'm out, bro. I'm done, man. So the Dolphins, they've had quarterback troubles, Tua dealing with injuries, receiver troubles with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle dealing with injuries. But is that really all we've seen from this trio? It kind of reminds me of the Brooklyn Nets, how that trio with the KD, James Harden, Kyrie, how that all panned out. We didn't get to see them much at their top potential, but then when we did, they kind of looked like they had potential to be, one of the elites. And that's what it seems like was with the Dolphins. Well, outside of when they play in cold weather. But, when they played all together in the warm weather with all the speedsters they had over there with the quarterback healthy, it seemed like they had a lot of potential to be, a heavy hitter in the AFC. But it's like we just didn't get much of it. And when we did get them all together, which it seemed like this year, Tyreek Hill has not had a great year. Coming off a season which he was ranked number 1 in the NFL rankings for a player in the season. I'm making this face, but he was actually crazy last year. I ain't gonna lie. But I did have not Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey ahead of him. But Tyreek Hill coming off that great season, he has not really backed it up with much this year. A lot of drops. not too many touchdowns and big plays this year for Miami. And he says he's out. So we'll see what team is willing to, go on that piggyback a little bit to go get Tyreek Hill, because he thinks he deserves a lot. And I just don't see him getting as much as he thinks he's going to be, worth this offseason. But I'm pretty sure he's going to leave, but we'll see where he ends up. Speaking on the topics of NFL wide receivers, another guy that I thought was being a diva last offseason, just asking for money, completely just forgetting about what the first priority is, bro. Playing football, that's your job, bro. And he still had another year off his left on his contract, but he wanted to get paid because he's seeing guys like Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, you can name it. Just guys getting paid. So he's like, bro, I feel like I'm worth the most. If they getting paid, I should be getting more at least. And jokes on the Cincinnati Bengals this time, because Jamar Chase, who is our player of the year for real, cuz said, "Bet you won't pay me." You right, I got one more year. I'm gonna play and watch what I do. Watch what I do. Not only did he lead the league in catches, lead the league in yards, but he also led the league in receiving touchdowns. Well, I really hope I said that correct. But he got the triple crown, y'all. 127 catches, 1,708 yards, and 17 touchdowns. Jamar Chase triple crown on a contract year. Get his cool. Like, they're going to have to bring the Brinks for Jamar this year. And I know everybody keeps saying it, but that is the truth. He is probably most likely going to be the highest, most paid wide receiver in NFL history coming off the season he just had. After already, letting them know that he wants some more money. They got to pay him now. They can't not pay him. They definitely have to address them defensive issues. And they still got Joe Burrow taking up a lump sum of the money, but they're going to have to pay Jamar Chase even more now. So what does that mean for T. Higgins? That means that it's a high probability that they do not get to keep their wide receiver 2, their bona fide wide receiver 2 in T. Higgins, which is tough, man, because he's going to have to take a cut. Or Jamar Chase is going to have to put his pride aside, which we see he doesn't like to do, and take a cut and give something to his fellow brother at wide receiver. And I don't see Jamar Chase taking no cut, bro, or T. Higgins. But if they want to win, which they haven't even been doing, I was going to say it might be best that they take a cut, but it might not be best. They might be better off just parting their ways, going somewhere else, and letting them both get paid, because the Bengals need to address that defense before anything, or they're not going to win anything, even with MVP Joe Burrow and Offensive Player of the Year Jamar Chase. Like, how are you not in the playoffs? That's ridiculous. But Jamar Chase, congratulations on the triple crown and having the season that you had. You are this cool player of the day. And with that being said, that's going to wrap up today's episode of the Between the Headset podcast. I hope you have a lovely and blessed rest of the week until we catch y'all again. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank y'all every week for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to follow the Instagram and the TikTok for just daily videos I like to post on sports. My little 2x speed videos that I find funny. Yeah. And I'm out.